I mean, people still remember the first Space Jam movie from like 25 years ago. What can audiences expect from the new one?
I think audiences are going to really be surprised and delighted and have a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of places that this movie goes. And I think if the, ultimately, with 2 years of being able to play with all the pieces, we're able to shape a narrative that's really about a kid wanting to be seen and wanting to belong, and what he goes through, and comes out of the other side. It'll be a classic hero's journey story, and I think that's what people connect to. It has a lot of heart. Like I said, the CJ is great, and he's able to carry that storyline through, and there's a lot of empathy that we have with them, and I think it's going to be visually stunning. I imagine it all looks like 360 degrees of green screen to me, but I imagine with the pre-visuals that I've seen that the stuff is going to be very spectacular, the world they're building out. I think the concept is really interesting. Story-wise, the good bad guy and two really good guys. And I think the basketball is going to be sick. Just watching...
Of course.
Just getting to be up close and watch LeBron actually play. And that's that's personally for me, I'm like, you guys should enjoy that. But it was great to be on the set and see that, But I think that when all those elements come together, it's going to be, I mean, come on, there's a rap battle, there's a dance video, there's family, there's basketball, there's all the Warner Brothers IP, there's this spectacular world to behold, and inside of that there's real characters that are really, hitting real human and emotional beats. I think it'll be pretty fun.
In the movie, you play a character called AIG, AI for artificial intelligence. But are you the villain of the story?
I think maybe. I think, as far as I understand, which we understand is going to be a lot of things happening in post-production, but he is the algorithm that controls the Warner Brothers intellectual property. And he has the ability to decide who sees what and what sort of gets pushed to the forefront. And he is someone who seems to me very similar to Dustin Hoffman's character in Wag the Dog, where he's like, why doesn't anyone pay attention to me? I put on this pageant, this amazing show, I'm doing all the work, and everybody that I'm putting in front gets all of the credit, and everybody else gets all the shine, and when is it my turn to be in the sun? So, he's a bit of a narcissist, and I think he's pretty insecure and kind of egomaniacal, which is a great, fun thing to play.
But your character is not like an actual person, it's more like a virtual being.
Well, I think he's the only thing. I think of him as a person because, I kind of have to because I'm playing him. But I think he's a thing. He is an amalgamation of ones and zeros, of yeses and nos that are, trying to figure out a way to get in the spotlight. And it's interesting. It's like were he to be able to do that, it's like Warner Brothers would shut it down. So it's a very, he hasn't really thought it all the way through to the end. As soon as it doesn't serve the higher purpose, what Warner Brothers wants, he'd be gone. So I think he keeps that sort of at bay, and he's just trying to challenge who he thinks to be the greatest human being out there in the world. And if he takes him down, then how could they not adore him?
You mentioned before that you had to work in a green screen environment, and but aren't you used to that because you did all that work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right?
Well, coming out of 10 years of another universe that was incredibly technical as well, and green screen and motion capture and all of that, I wasn't unfamiliar with it. But each thing has its own different sort of idiosyncratic parts to it, and different things that distinguish it. And in this, it was very interesting playing to entities that weren't there, and trying to stay mindful of what their personalities are and who they are and what they mean. But ultimately, I think in situations like this, you understand that you're putting yourself into the hands of the special effects team and the post-production team, and that they're going to take the pieces that you give them and the seeds that you give them, and they're going to create something around it that will work. You just want to make sure you're staying in the pocket with what that requires. Your eye lines are right, your postures are right, but so much of that really is determined by people who are behind the monitors going, if you put your hand there, it's in Daffy's head. You have to put your hand here, and you just trust that they've figured it out and they're going to work it out at the end. And hopefully they've given you the parameters where you can just be free and just perform and not, let them worry about that stuff later.
How was working with an NBA icon like Lebron James?
Just seeing how he took to all this was really, really amazing. And he's acting. I mean, he's really tapping into his emotions. He understands who the character is. Yes, it's based loosely on him, but he's really committed to it, and he's bringing everything to the role, and he's never slacking off. He's never phoning it in. He's not just faking his way through it. He's really trying to find the truth of it. And he was really the sort of the big surprise of the whole thing for me. And off camera, he's lovely. He's great and really generous and gregarious and a team player, and down to make the whole thing work. So and he didn't have to be. I kept saying that to him. I'm like, you don't have to be as you are right now. You're sitting in the catbird seat, and you could be a very different dude right now, and everyone would just have to kind of go, oh, whatever. But he never for a moment showed that side. He's just down to make the best out of it, and I think that's cool. He could have a long career in this.
Damas y caballeros, niños y niñas.
¿Quieres rapear ahora? ¿Quieres rapear? Enséñales lo que sabes hacer, amigo, cerdo rapero.
Está bien, lo intentaré. ¿Qué onda? Es porque al fin me llaman PWIG frente a mí, que ya no estorbe. Es mi fama anterior al internet, y desde tiempo atrás fui admirado y triunfé. Ni hablas, soy ley, soy súper el rey. Todo el mundo pide fotos por montones y me ve. Tú, un bildo nadie que en la calle va. Te apellidas ritmo y no hayas el compás. Yo he venido a ganar, yo lucharé hasta el fin. Y tu escuadrón solo hace reír. Y quiero acabar, mi firma es lo que digo. Raperos, eso es todo, eso es todo, amigos.